Welcome back to Cooking Live. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about back to school breakfast today, which I'm very excited about because I know that a lot of families struggle with this transition from summer, maybe laziness, slower schedules to that full-on transition back to school. Even if you don't have kids in school, there are some good tips here. My adult patients that I work with every day struggle with breakfast, and so I'm so glad you're joining us today. We got 3 options to talk about, so hopefully at least one of them will work for you and your household. I want to start by just talking a little bit about breakfast. It is an important meal of the day. I won't say it's the most important meal of the day, but it is a very important meal of the day, especially for people who are going to school. There actually are studies that show that kids who don't eat breakfast do not do as well in school. And combine that with maybe their lunch is early, maybe their lunchtime is late, and we got a perfect storm for some very hangry little ones. And so getting them out the door with a good breakfast is important. I can already hear you now across the internet. I can hear it. We don't have time for that, Erin. we are good to get a cereal bar and out in the car or about bus line and off to school. But none of these things take too long to prepare in the morning. The first thing I have to show you today is actually a breakfast burrito that an older kid, a kid who's old enough to use a microwave, could do themselves. You know your children better than anybody, so you know if they're able to handle the microwave or not. Some little ones may need some parent help. Just want to start by getting a microwave safe bowl. Give it a little spray, not too much, just a little pan spray so our egg doesn't stick. And to that we're going to add 1 egg. Kids might want to hit on the counter. That's a little bit easier than the side of the bowl. And just open that up, put that in there. All right, take a fork, scramble it up. Don't have to get too fancy here. And this is going to go in our microwave for 30 seconds. I have a microwave hot pad here. You could also use just a cotton or other natural fiber dish towel if you wanted. You put it under the bowl, then when you take it out of the microwave, there are no little fingers that get burned. All right. I'm going to hit that for 30 seconds. Breakfast doesn't have to be hard, but we do need to think a little bit about what we actually need in our breakfast meal. A kid, depending on age and activity level, probably needs somewhere between like 400 and 600 calories in their breakfast meal to really get all the nutrients that they need to make it to the next meal opportunity, especially if they have one of the later lunch times. A bowl of cereal may not cut it. Right. It may just not be enough nutrition for them to get through. Right. That was actually 27 seconds, but I heard my egg pop, so. There is a little bit of gushy here, but that's okay because we're going to put it back in the microwave for a little bit with our tortilla, any kind you choose, and egg. All right, or cheese, excuse me, not egg. Just going to take that, take a piece of American cheese or shredded cheese, any cheese you like. Make just a stripe down the middle. Put my egg in on top. And back to the microwave it goes. If you are on the go, you could just put it straight on a paper towel and function as another way to keep little fingers from getting burned. And then also as your napkin on the way out the door. All right, 30 more seconds. And we'll see how that turns out. So getting that really good dose of nutrition in the morning should be a complete meal. Our breakfast burrito here has our starchy component. We got a tortilla. We have protein, we got cheese and egg. So we would just round out that meal with maybe a glass of milk and some grapes or some berries, fruit of your choice, and that would be a whole complete meal that would get someone nourished, however old they are, from the time you leave the house until your breakfast. Great. All right. Good enough to eat. If you want, you can hit it with a little bit of pepper. Roll that guy up. Put it in our napkin. Portable breakfast, ready to go in a minute. If an adult does it. If your little one is doing it, it might take a little bit longer, but that's okay. The next option I want to talk to you about are energy bites or protein balls, or I've heard them called fat bombs, which is not my favorite name, but if you're looking for recipes online, you might search that term. What I'm talking about are some little round oats chocolate chips, flax seeds, like what have you, just little round balls that you can have in your freezer is where I keep them, ready to go on hand. They're really easy to make. The base recipe is some kind of nut butter. I'm using peanut butter today. Some other mix-ins. I got flaxseed and chia seeds, some mini chocolate chips because I like a little bit of chocolate there. Unsweetened coconut. For a little added sweetness today, took one of those bananas that everyone tells you to put in your freezer for banana bread, which is not the healthiest option, but everyone has a freezer full of bananas. Took one of my bananas out of the freezer and I mushed it up, and that's actually what we're going to use to add a little bit of sweetness to this. So, base recipe. I'm going to put my smashed banana in there. I have a freezer full of these things, so I'm making a half recipe today. That's a half a banana. Going to put in half a cup of peanut butter. If you have a peanut-free house, you could use almond butter, you could use sun butter, you can use whatever you want. All right. And the secret to good energy balls is to get all of the wet ingredients, just a little bit of honey here, not much, half a tablespoon because I already got the sweetness from my banana in there. A little bit of vanilla because it makes it smell nice. Not necessary, but again, it's just nice. There's like a half a teaspoon in there. Okay. You're gonna get all your wet ingredients and mix them up first, because this is gonna be your binder to hold the rest of the recipe together. And so if we get this part nice and combined, we won't have some energy balls that have a lot of banana and some energy balls that have a lot of peanut butter. It'll be good and just evenly distributed. Next up, I want to add my mix-ins. I got like a tablespoon or so of flax seeds and chia seeds for some heart-healthy fats. Flax seed has that good monounsaturated fats in there to protect our heart health. The chia seeds also help out with heart health with those omega-3s. You could put nuts in there. You could put chopped up dried fruit, raisins, craisins, dried apricots, really whatever you like. Some mini chocolate chips. There's like 3 tablespoons there. And some unsweetened coconut because I like it. Coconut is kind of an interesting ingredient right now. It also has some good health benefits. It's a saturated fat, so we don't want to get too much of it, but it's a different kind of saturated fat from like butter or the grease that comes off bacon or sausage. It's a little bit different molecule, and so in our bodies it can actually help in some studies to reduce our bad cholesterol and promote heart health, so that's pretty cool too. All right, as you can see, all my stuff is all mixed up in there. I started with my wet stuff, got that all mixed up, then I put my mix-ins in, and the last thing I'm gonna do is add some oats. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a little bit of oats in my bowl, and the reason for that is this. It is a humid day today, and so I don't know what the humidity is gonna do to my recipe. I may not need as many oats today because of the weather, which is an interesting thing to think about. It's something my grandma always taught me to think about. Sometimes the weather really will affect how things turn out. All right, I think that was a good call on my part. We probably I had a cup and a quarter, or a cup and a half, no, a cup and a quarter in my bowl, and I really only needed about 1 cup of oats today. All right, you can see everything's nice and mixed up. It's a good texture, okay? You see it kind of sticks together there. I'm gonna roll these into balls that are not as big as golf balls. Maybe like 2 tablespoons each. And there we go. Spray a little spray on my hands, keep them from sticking. All right, just like 2 tablespoons. Roll it up. There you have it. Okay. Each one of these is about 100 calories, so if they are going to be a snack, 1 or 2 should be a snack. If they're going to be part of a meal, maybe more like 3 or 4. They travel really well. They are endlessly customizable. You can put protein powder in here. You can put, like I said, nuts or fruit. I just picked ingredients that I like. The same things that I put in my bowl of oatmeal. I put in my energy balls there. I keep them in the freezer. They'll keep for 3 months or so in there. They're a nice grab and go option to have on hand in case you, like me, forgot to really think ahead or wake up on time today for my usual breakfast. So they're a nice one to have kind of in the freezer to help us out. Okay? The last thing I want to talk about today is a make-ahead breakfast casserole. This one is made with sandwich bread and some turkey sausage and then some vegetables I had on hand, mushrooms and onions. But if you are thinking you might like to resurrect that brunch casserole that we made for Mother's Day, that was a crock pot recipe, that would do nicely as well. I basically dried out 8 pieces of sandwich bread, kind of like you would for stuffing, in the oven, 225 for like 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Once they were good and crispy, I layered 4 on the bottom of my 8x8 pan. I put in half of my 8-ounce tube of sausage already cooked with my onions and mushrooms, sprinkle a little cheese on top, put 4 more pieces of bread on top of that, more sausage and vegetables, more cheese, and then I topped it with 6 eggs that had been beaten up with 3/4 of a cup of half and half, 3/4 of a cup of 2% milk, and this is the finished product after it had been baked. It's a good option. It does require some thinking ahead. You gotta let it sit overnight to kind of let all those eggs suck into the bread, and then once you cook it, it takes about an hour to cook. So it might be cook it on Saturday or Sunday, and then have it in the fridge for the rest of the week. But it'll keep for 4 to 5 days in the fridge. So it's just kind of cut off your serving and have it either cold, which is how I like it, or heat it up in the microwave. Make ahead, gotta think ahead to make that ahead. Have in the freezer so that you have a grab and go on days that really aren't working out well. And then easy peasy breakfast burrito in the microwave. So easy a kid can do it. Hopefully one of these options will work for you. Let us know in the comments if you try any of them. Let us know what you like, what your favorite back to school breakfasts are. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.